Hello everyone, I'm GuardianSoulBlade and I'm doing a quick video here about gachas and the air quote pull value of various characters across various gachas. And I think while it can be a good thing to talk about, I think people get too hung up on, oh, you must pull this character. If don't, you're bricked forever. And while pull value is a nice idea, it should be not just what a content creator says that you should pull. And while taking advice about what to pull is good, you should not always do whatever they say. They pay money into this game unless they got multiple free to play alt accounts where they can just basically pull everybody with some extra work. And most of these content creators are whales, or they pay a lot to roll every patch. They get all the characters, or they get access to the server early so they can show you a character for whatever game they're playing. And because they're always getting the characters, it's easy to say, oh, you should pull for whatever is up on rate up. And that's nice, but when you're free to play, you actually have to save. You actually have to plan ahead. And while pull value is a nice thing, and I think that is a good thing to talk about, some people get hung up too much on pull value. And they're like, oh, I'm bricking if I miss one character. No, you're not. The whole goal of the gacha game is to get you frustrated with being free to play to spend money. And while I have no problem with spending money on gacha, I pay into FGO twice a year with $30 for 2 guaranteed SSRs. And then I pay into a Punishing Grey Raven with the monthly pass, and I buy skins sometimes for my favorites, and that's what I like to spend on. But for all my other gachas, I am free to play, and I don't ever feel like I need to spend money. But I'm good at hoarding currency, unlike a lot of the modern gacha players who just save up barely enough to go for a 50-50, and then they cry when they don't get it, because that's the whole point of a 50-50, is to get you to spend after you've blown all your currency and you miss the 50-50. But guarantees are nice because if you're free to play and you don't care about chasing the meta, you can basically save up for whatever you want. And that, while following meta is good and can be fun for some people, for a lot of people it isn't, and that's why they quit so fast. And I love Fate Grand Order because the meta is so wide. You only need 4 or 5 actual must-pull servants, which are all supports, by the way, so you can min-turn farm with literally your favorite servant in whatever card type they have. And I'm a buster looper, so I like big damage numbers. So I have a bunch of buster servants, and I have the 2 support characters I need to farm FGO literally forever, and I can min-turn the nodes, so because I can farm so fast, I can clear shops fast and get my stuff built, and that's nice for FGO because FGO meta is very wide. You only need 5 support characters who are actually must pull, then you can literally save up and pull your favorites. And the guaranteed SSR every 6 months is nice. I don't have to spend a lot of money. I just have to pick the banner with the most characters that I actually want in it and hope I get something I like. And that's easy spending for me in FGO. PGR, Punishing Grey Raven, which is my other paid gacha that I do, the monthly pass for, is super easy to farm, to build characters, and to even pull, except for the first limited character they brought out this year after 6 years. But for me, I love PGR because you can get everything free to play, except if you missed a collab, and that's it. You just play the game. There are plenty of ways to get the older characters for free, and the newer ones you'll earn enough every patch to get to pity. Most of the free-to-plays are all pity gang. I'm pity gang too, but I've had a couple characters come early. One of them was, ironically, Mr. Motivated himself, Virgil from Devil May Cry 5. He showed up early in my rolls, and that was funny. But for me, when it comes to pull value, what I value most is what I like. And if I like a character, I will pull their entire team that they need to be great in a game. And for me, PGR is easy to keep up with because I can get every character every patch just by playing the game, and I like that. You can't do that these days with a lot of gachas. They do the 50-50 on purpose, so you will be literally forced to pay to get what you actually want, unless you're willing to save. Fate Grand Order unironically taught me to save because it's the world's stingiest gacha. It has the meme of gacha hell for a reason. It's very hard to pull a SSR that you actually want, and you might get spoofed by somebody else, but there's a lot of 4 stars that are just as wonderful as the SSR unit 5 star, and we have a ton of free NP5, which is maxed out, 4 stars that you can play with, and they are great to play with, and they are fun. And some of my favorite characters in Fate Grand Order are the 4 stars, not the 5 stars, although I love my 5 star too. And for me, when it comes to pull value and yada 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 in modern gachas, it's annoying because every content creator I've seen, except for a few, they're always saying you must pull. And if you're always having to pull, you might as well become a whale, because that's the only way you're going to get everything. Unless you play something old like Punishing Grey Raven, which actually let free-to-play players get every character in the game except for collabs if you miss those. And they don't do games like that anymore. I like Madoka Magia Etc. That is the Star Rail style Madoka game. It is a Japanese gacha, and even though it's a 200 pull pity, we have what is called a flip up, where you can have a low rarity pull that will suddenly flip up to be an SSR. They don't do this in Chinese gachas, ever. This is a JP gacha thing, and I like JP gachas more than the typical CN gacha because of the flip up mechanic. And saving doesn't bother me at all. All these people get so obsessed with rolling. They're all gambling addicts, and they're always crying that they lost to 50-50, but they can't save for more than a month, which is enough to get a shot at a 50-50. But most of the time, as a free-to-play, you're going to miss out on a character anyway because they don't give you enough gacha currency on purpose to at least try for a 50-50. That's why everyone gets obsessed with the gacha income, because they're all gambling addicts and they just want to roll. The Fate Grand Order fandom, yeah, we know we are nuts being in the gacha hell, but you haven't seen somebody who saved up 2 whole years to max out a single servant, and they did it for free, because we can do that because we have Clairvoyance EX. We can just save for what we want. The moment I saw that Saber was coming to Honkai Star Rail, I started planning and I started saving for her. I slacked off on the game for several months, but in January I saved up for her, and I was able to E6 S1 her within the first month of the collab, and I'm very happy with her. I'm building her team. I'm waiting for Sunday to come back so I can try for him, and I've been saving for Sunday. And for me, I don't care about Honkai Star Rail's endgame. That's how you come to hate Honkai Star Rail, is you chase those silly jades on the endgame, and when you don't, you feel a lot better. And that's why Honkai is probably one of the most quit gachas I've ever heard of. That's a modern one. And everybody's chasing the next one with the next best gacha system, when all you people are is a bunch of gambling addicts who don't know how to save. And I saved a whole year in Fate Grand Order to max out Sanji Muramasa. He is Shira Emiya, the protagonist of Fate Stay Night. I knew he was coming, and I just saved up for him, and I got him for free. And it was the best early session I've had on my stream, and it was just so much fun. And I didn't have to pay a penny at all. And it was not the easiest thing to do, but it was so worth it to get a character that I loved maxed out day one. And people forget what that's like to save because they fall for the FOMO, mainly spread by content creators who, you know, they roll everything, so they have everything, so they forget what it's like to be free to play, where you can't get everything, where you actually have to plan your polls and save, dare I say, for the character you actually like, and that's not necessarily meta. And when the free-to-plays chase meta, it doesn't work most of the time, because with the 50-50 system, you have to pray you get lucky, and then you'll cry if you don't. So that's why people are quitting Wuthering Waves, is they're tired of losing the 50-50. And the reason I like Punishing Grey Raven so much is because it's only 60 pulls and 100% rate up for the character. You get them as long as you play. And that's what I think is more important than meta, is be able to actually have the character and play with them if that's what you like to do in gacha games. And Punishing Grey Raven is still my favorite gacha game when it comes to like the actual gacha system. And Fate Grand Order is a game I love for the story. Characters are secondary. I just planned ahead because we're 2 years behind to pull the meta supports that I wanted. Now I can go for whoever I want, and that's what I do in Fate Grand Order. That's why you don't see me roll a lot in that game, because I'm saving for the big rolls, and I'm going to have big rolls in March because that's when Witch in the Holy Night collab is coming. I'm going to try to get Alco and Alice, so I will be posting that when that gets out. But I've got a month or two to start getting more of my Saint Quartz for rolling, so I'll be doing that this whole month after the Fate Samurai Remnant collab is over. I'm grinding that, so that's fun. But for me, pull value is always what you like. Meta is nice, but when you chase meta, you just get a headache, and that's why I only do it for 2 gachas and not Honkai Star Rail. I just pull for Saber's team, and that's it, and then I'm start pulling for Archer's team, and then I'll find a DPS to roll, and I'll pull their team and all that. But for me, I just don't focus on meta that much, because meta makes burnout happen, and then everybody cries about power creep, etc., etc. But pull value is a little overrated, and while I think it's important, I think people are overemphasizing that you need a character every time a new one comes out, and I find that really annoying. But I understand why people want to spend the best gacha currency on the air quote, the must-have characters. But when everyone is must-have, you might as well just wail, because you're not going to be able to get everyone free-to-play unless they let you do that in the game. And a lot of games don't do that anymore. And even in Fate Grand Order, you don't need all 412 servants. I don't even have half the roster, and I do just fine with what I have. And I have a lot of characters that I love that are special to me for their stories or their fun gameplay and things like that. But for me, I've never put too much stock in must pull things. It's a little more complicated for HSR because of their crazy meta. But I'm mainly looking for my teams. I need teams for the characters I like. And that's what I focus on when I play HSR, Memory of Chaos and Apocalyptic Shadow and Pure Fiction. I don't care if I miss the last node. It's not going to kill my account. And most people are Gamba addicts anyway, so they just want to roll. So, I mean, that's all I've got to say about this. While I do think it's important and you should listen to content creators, please remember that they're paying for all these characters, so they say that everything is must pull. It's a little more interesting if they tell you not to pull something because they feel it's bait for your money or something like that. I think that's more interesting than constantly shilling whoever is the new character in whatever game you're playing. And for FGO, it's easy to skip characters that you don't want, because if you have the meta support for the card type you like, you can pull whoever you want. And I'm doing that. I'm pulling some fun characters this year, so that's what I'll be doing in my Fate Grand Order rolls. You'll see those once I get around to it. I'll be streaming that stuff on Twitch, because that's fun. But that's all I wanted to talk about. I hope you have a good day or night wherever you are, and have a good day. Bye-bye.